having stuff come out of both ends of your body at the same time. The cold sweats, the snot coming out of your eyes, your nose, your everything. It's just, you're not being able to sleep for like a week at a time because you can't, and you can't. Your body hurts so bad, and there's no like cure for it. There's no cure for it. So it's like in prison, like in county jail or prison, when you're kicking heroin, you're like, in prison, they're like, okay, you got 72 hours and then you got to start working out. You're like, dang, bro, like, how am I going to do that, bro? It's going to be a big mess on the floor, But it's, they always say, oh, eat sweets, but that don't help, man. Like, nothing helps. It's just, you just got to, ride through it. Luckily, sometimes I wouldn't be out long enough to early withdraw,
Say if I suspect someone that I know or love is getting high on opiates, what are some signs I could kind of notice if they're good at hiding their withdrawal symptoms or they're good at hiding the fact that they're using? What are some signs that somebody's getting high?
The constant movements, the constantly moving their leg, they're sweating for no reason. They're real, they're just, you could just see the pain in their eye, basically. You could just see the pain.
Whoa. So basically, you could tell they look sick.
They look sick, They probably weigh, like, for me, I weigh like 140, and I'm at 260 right now, so, yeah. I look like a lollipop.
For real, on heroin?
I look like a lollipop. Skinny body and a big head.
Damn. A lollipop king.
Yeah, I look like a stick figure.
So, did you ever overdose?
No. Never
Okay.
overdosed.
Tell us the craziest story ever from when you were high on heroin.
Oh, man. The craziest story would probably just everything, man. Like, just what you would do, what you were willing to do, rob people, steal, My craziest story would probably, I would say my first time doing heroin.
Okay.
Because what led up to me doing heroin, I would say, because what led up to it was statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Let's just say my uncle heard what was going on outside. He heard some pops and
some shots.
And then me telling my uncle what a piece of crap he was because he was doing heroin. And there's no way I'm going to do that. Yeah. There's no way I'm going to do that. And he was like, yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I'm like, nah, you're dirty for doing that. I'm over here like twacked out of my mind. And he's like, no, you're going to do it. And I'm like, oh. And then he gave it to me and he did it. And I did it. And I was like, oh, thanks, yo. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But I think that was the craziest because that was my first encounter and how much I was against it because my mom used to be a heroin addict and just giving up to it, just giving up.
What was it like to have, like when you needed your mom the most and everything around you was messed up and you needed your mom the most and she was addicted. What was that like?
It's the worst feeling in the world, man. Because I'd say the worst part of it is knowing that my only option is to use because my mom's using and you think you got a mom. Because my mom did things to get her drugs, and walking with my mom and her jumping in a car right in front of me. You know what I mean? That's hurtful. I think the part where I needed her the most was during the holidays, man. Like, I'm out of prison and I'm out for Christmas and I ain't got nowhere to go. And I would say, like, Thanksgiving. I haven't had a meal cooked by my mom since I was 17. I haven't had a home-cooked meal since I was 17 from my mother, and I'm 40. I'll be 40 next week. And that kills me inside, man. That bothers me, bro, because it's like, my wife, she's got great parents, man. She's got great parents, bro. Like, she's enough for, a set of two. Those parents for my kids, their grandparents, and for me and my wife, like, I call them mom and dad, dude, because, on my birthday, it's just like, it's not like, watching her in the beginning, watching my wife's family in the beginning, where, like on, my wife's birthday, she gets a cake, she gets a meal, and presents, and, the Christmases with them. And, I made me jealous at first because I'm like, man, I don't even get that, bro. Like, I haven't had that. What's that like?
Yeah.
But now it doesn't bother me because it's like I got that with them.
Yeah.
Like for my birthday, the plan is to have a barbecue with my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. And to me, that's awesome, bro. Like, but I think that's the most hurtful part about not having a mom there for you.
Yeah.
Especially when you know that she don't live far from you.
Yeah.
She's
still struggling?
As far as I know, yeah. But, I got an aunt, like, who's like my mom too, so.
Yeah.
She's always been, before my wife and her family, and to this day, like, my aunt is there for me, like, when I need when I was going through something about a year ago, she was who I called, but she lives in Kansas, and she flew all the way out from Kansas. She heard I was in trouble, and she heard I was going through it. She flew from Kansas. And to me, that's what a mom should do, But
No
those
matter what.
situations, be there. Yeah.
That's good. I think that's a sign of maturity, you know, understanding what you don't have, but not using it as an excuse.
Yeah.
And looking at what you do have.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's massive. Now, real quick, we got a couple more minutes. Tell us what your rock bottom was like.
My rock bottom, my absolute rock bottom was, I think, my last prison term. And I was fighting my case. And my son, who's 17 now, and I think my daughter, who's 15, was like 3 years old. And my son, I missed his first day of kindergarten. And not only did I have my oldest daughter, that I wasn't in her life at all, but my son, my wife never used to bring him to the county jail to come see me, and she brought him one day. And he was sitting in front of me, telling me, Daddy, like, you missed my first day of school. And me looking at him and being like, I'm sorry, son. Because now he was starting to feel what I was doing wrong.
Wow.
And me looking at him in the eyes, and he was crying, like, Dad, like, what are you doing? Like, and my wife used to tell him I was at work. But me looking at him and just being like, I'm sorry, son. And it crushed my heart, man. It crushed my heart to where I was like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this no more because I can't hurt. Because that little boy, to me, in my mind, like, my daughter's, my son was going to end up like me, and I didn't want that to be reversed one day. And that's how I am this day, with my daughters and my son, is I want to be there for them, man, to show them what kind of dad. I never, like, be a dad for them for the generations to come. Like, I want to be a grandpa one day, I want to be a great grandfather. I want to be alive for that. I want to be there for all three of my kids.
That was heavy.
Yeah.
Now, what did you do to change all that? Your rock bottom was rough. You missed out on your son's life.
I would say I started believing in God, started believing in God. I actually, like, I had two different situations that changed my life, but that one was I started believing in God, and I started going to meetings and, getting a sponsor and all that. And then I think now what's keeping me going is God, going to church and, man, bro, just God's love, bro. Like, that's what it is for me now. God's love is like, all those things that you have missing in your life, whether it's a mom, a dad, or whatever it is, bro, God fills that void.
Yep.
And I think that's what it was. And that's something I learned, is no matter what, bro, God loves you, bro. Like, dang, no matter what you did in the past, God loves you. No matter how much people you hurt, God loves you, bro. No matter what you did to your kids, God loves you, like, no matter, like, and that, and my wife, bro, like, my wife is so beautiful, man, and she's like the best thing ever, and she's like takes care of me, and she's like, she's obviously a godsend. She's my woman of God, man. Like, she's my wife and my children, all three of them. My oldest daughter, I'm back in her life after 14 years. Like, she's 21 now. I didn't see her for 14 years, man, and I started seeing her when she was 16. And, my son is like the light of my eye, bro. Like, my son is like everything to me, man. My son is like, my son is just like, man, and, he's my little boy. He's my baby boy. He probably wouldn't like me saying that in public, but that's my baby boy. And then my little girl, Ariana, she's 15, and she's my little princess, man. She brightens my day. When I walk in, she's like, "Hi, Daddy. How was your day?" She comes and hugs me every night before I go to sleep, and I wouldn't trade that for the world, man. I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you got 30 seconds to give someone a word of encouragement, let it rip.
For me, it's follow God. At this point in my life, follow God, or find something, whether it's going to church or going to AA or NA, because they all work, man. I would do that, man, and don't give up on yourself. Don't be a victim. Don't be a victim to what don't be what society tells you are. Even if you are a gang member like that, just because of the way you look, and you come out of prison and you got tattoos on your face, it don't matter, bro. Because today, my life, I'm a programmer. I run a company now. I'm a program director, bro, and you can't listen to what people say and how you look, man. Just be yourself, follow God, and your life will completely change. And yeah, that's it.
Love
man.
that.
Yep.
Love that. Share this with somebody who's struggling. Share this with anybody who might need to be motivated or inspired. Doesn't matter what you've come out of, there's still hope. So make sure you like, subscribe, share the heck out of this video. Let's get this story out. I know it's going to help a lot of people. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next time.